Hi everyone, what's going on? George here from Data Academy. This week we're going to talk about TPOT, that is TPOT. What is TPOT, you ask? Well, TPOT is short for Tree-Based Pipeline Optimization Tool, and therefore TPOT. So as it says here, you can consider TPOT as your data science assistant. TPOT is a Python automated machine learning tool that optimizes machine learning pipelines using genetic programming. I'll leave it to you to Google what is genetic programming. But in summary, or in short, genetic programming is basically a very powerful search technique or algorithm to help you to search through all the available programs to find the best program. In our case here, we're going to try to find out the best pipeline out of all the possible machine learning pipelines. And that's what we're going to do today using TPOT. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So first, we're going to import all the needed stuff as always. And then we're going to use the same data set as before so that we're able to compare the results. That's exactly the data set as you can see. And next, we're going to build a model. By saying build the model, really here, what we are going to do is to use the TPOT classifier to do the search and the optimization to find really the best pipeline here. And we need to specify a couple of arguments here. So number one is generations, and then population size, and then CV, that's for cross-validation. In this case here, we're going to define the tenfold cross-validation as before. Again, this is for comparison, and then we're going to define the scoring metric, which is accuracy, and then the verbosity. For example, how much information you need in terms of an update when the program is running. And then this is the random state. We always need to set here. I'm using the seed variable we defined early on. And n jobs, this is exactly the same thing as we said before. Basically, this is when you specify -1 here, we're going to use all the available CPU cores to speed up the computation. All right. And regarding these and a bunch of other arguments, we can check out the TPOT API definition here. Okay, as you can see, generations, population size, and offspring size, and so on and so forth. So the idea would be you use these parameters to define your algorithm searching process. So ideally, these things are large numbers, okay? For example, 100 and so on and so forth. But in our case here, we don't have a very large data set. It is a very small, it is a not a very large data set and a very relatively simple problem to tackle here. So we're going to set the generations to be 5 and the population size to be 50. Okay, there we go. We're going to start running, and it's going to take a couple minutes. And as you can see, TPOT does provide this very nice progress bar here to show the current progress. Okay, so we're going to let this run, and we're going to come back here once this is done. All right, it is all done now. Okay, so we can see there are 5 generations that have been completed, and for each generation, TPOT tells us what is the best candidate, the best result here. And every time it seems like the cross-validated accuracy result is very impressive, isn't it? All right, so that's the model we've trained, and now for us to save the model, we are going to do this by saying model.export and then save it somewhere. So notice we are saving to a .py file, meaning that we are actually saving the code. Okay, the code used to generate the best model. So that's the difference here from other automated machine learning frameworks. And now the model has been saved. All right, so let's take a look here. This is the model. Let's open this up. Okay, how nice is that? So as you can see here, it has literally the whole pipeline laid out for you here. Okay, so you have this make pipeline, here, and then you have this function transformer, and you have the the algorithm and also the hyperparameters, everything set for you. Okay, so that's really nice because that makes it super easy for us to later on to tinker with the whole pipeline and to further optimize from here. Okay, so I'm not going to use this. Instead, I'm just going to use what I got from last time, and I just copy the pipeline over, and then we can run this, and now we can also do cross validation to see what kind of performance we can get from this best model. Okay, there we go. That's the final result. So this is a 93% accuracy with a standard deviation of 0.05. And how about before? Well, it seems like this is more or less the same, but to be honest, I ran this a couple of times, and this is actually the worst. And for out of all the other times, I got 94% accuracy. So overall, I would say this TPOT automated machine learning tool is really very impressive. In particular, two things. Number one, it gives you a better accuracy on average with a smaller standard deviation. And secondly, it really gives you the not only the model, but also the code to generate the model, which is super nice because you can see all the details that you can really play with later on. So that's it for this time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.